all of his addictions, and he was able to live longer than most people in the rock and roll world live. And what happened is he wanted to kill himself. That's why he was an addict, and he was trying to kill himself. But he made an exchange with another soul to take over his body. So that's why his music changed, everything changed. And his interviews after that also totally changed, because if you listen to his interviews from the time of when he was doing Ziggy Stardust and before Ziggy Stardust, the things he would say on those interviews and the things he said right after that are almost completely opposite. In a few of his interviews, he said, "I used to be a Buddhist monk," or he said I was a Tibetan monk. And every time he said that on an interview, the interview person would kind of go silent for a while, and then they would just change the subject. So he never ever said anything about that. So what I got in tapping into his body is he was a Tibetan monk, and he came into the body of David Bowie when he wanted to kill himself, and he was able to turn him around.
Interesting.
So the old David Bowie left this world in 1970, I would say 75, 76 or so, and the new David Bowie still had all the cellular memory and all the brilliance of songwriting, and actually more so. I love his early David Bowie stuff. I love his late stuff. I love his middle stuff. I love every generation of David Bowie. He changed himself so many times, but
he did evolve. Yeah.
Yeah, he evolved so much, but his music is so deep, and I don't even think he understood his music, because he would be interviewed on what the meaning of his music is. And as a songwriter, I wrote 60 songs. I can't really tell you the meaning. Every month and every year, the meaning of my old songs changes, because I'm getting new revelations of what I was writing about 20 or 15 years ago. And I didn't even realize I was writing it about that, because I never studied those things. And now that I look back, I'm like, wow, I was writing about all these things that I had no knowledge of, at least from this life. So I was tapping into previous lives, or I was channeling, or whatever. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So we only really got a minute or two left, Tim. So why don't you just give us more ways to get in touch with your website and so forth and so on, and show. I mean, even if you're just repeating what you said earlier.
Yeah, my regular website is www.tj, which is Tim Janakos, music. So tjmusic.org as in orgasmic, or organization. And my Facebook, I'm the only Tim Janakos out there, so you can search Tim Janakos. I spell it Janakos. I pronounce it Janakos. It was originally probably Giannakopoulos, but that was my ancient relatives.
Yeah, I've been calling you Janakos all this time.
That's okay. Everyone calls me Janakos. You can call me anything, because I'm an infinite being. I am that, and I am everything else. I am he as you are he as you are me, and we are all together. Because I am actually, that's just one of the many characters I've played in this lifetime. And I'm playing many more characters in the future lifetimes, and I've played many characters in my past lifetimes. And it's all this oneness that we all are. So I am Joseph Dolan, too. And I am Lucy Diamond.
I love it. So I was just actually going to see who my guest is for next week, but if I do that, I'm going to lose track of what else I'm doing here today. But that's pretty much a wrap for tonight, folks. And you're listening to, of course, or you have listened to, the Daily Reality Hour. And of course, our guest tonight was Tim Janakos.
Janakos.
I'm gonna ingrain that in my head. Janakos.
Sorry
about that. And Tim graced us again tonight. And Tim, we have to have you back on again.
Cool.
Next week. Off next week. Good. So next week, I'm going to be talking about. I think I'm going to be talking about consciousness if we don't have a guest next week. But anyway, it's always an exciting show. We may have a guest. I may have misunderstood. But if we don't have a guest, I'm going to be talking about the power of consciousness and some of the latest breakthroughs that are kind of tying science, the world of physics and the world of metaphysics together. And the common denominator, by the way, is consciousness. Consciousness exists in both the world of metaphysics and now in the world of physics. And it's kind of bridging the two sciences. And of course, obviously, that idea or that notion is behind an awful lot of the things we talked about tonight. And the reason that Tim is able to, Janakos is able to tap into the folks that were calling in. Tim, thank you so much. Always a pleasure. You're a great guest, and I we hope folks out there, and I know you actually had, some good vibrations you sent out to all the listeners with their problems, and of course they can reach you at JK Music.
TJ Music.
Sorry, yeah, sorry, TJ. TJ Music for Tim Janakos, music.org.orgasm. And so obviously they could do that, as well as, of course, look on YouTube for some of your, YouTube videos as well.
Yes.
So I welcome you folks to do that, and we'll announce too when Tim is back on again. In the meantime, folks, have a great week, and have a great week yourself, and a nice show tomorrow night, Tim. And thanks again for being on the show, and thanks everyone out there for listening and for tuning in, and tune in again next week.
Thank you all.
Yeah, God bless.
Bye-bye.
You're clear.
Okay, thank you guys. Talk to you guys next time.
Yes. Thanks again, Tim.
Bye-bye.
Have a great night, everyone.
You too.
Thanks. So no problem missing that commercial, huh? That commercial break?
No, not at all. It's better. It's better content if they're call-ins.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for getting. Now, what was the little glitch, or it just suddenly went away?
I have no idea.
Interesting.
I think I just hung up on everybody or something. Whenever we came back that second time, it was just there were people calling in the whole time. I just couldn't answer them. So
now, do I not have a guest next week?
No, I'm on vacation next week.
Oh, you're next week, so there's no show at all.
Yeah, and then
we're just gonna play a rerun. Okay, great.
Yeah, and then you're booked.
Okay, no problem. But whenever I am free, let me know, and don't book anyone, for the next time it is free, and I'll do my thing on consciousness, which is going to be interesting.
Okay, so I have one listed here about thermodynamics.
A show that I'm going to do on thermodynamics?
Yeah, I guess we've got, you mentioned thermodynamics. We
Yes.
have questions on it at one.
Okay, I can address those questions in the very beginning of the show on consciousness, or I can even address those questions, if you want, at the beginning of next show.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay, terrific. So listen, have a great week off. Are you on vacation?
Yep, I'm gonna actually go down to New Jersey and visit Stacy for a little bit, so that'll be fun.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully Stacy will be a lot happier.
Yeah. She's been a lot happier since the wedding. She got married on a Halloween last year.
Oh, great.
That was a big shift. So.
Yeah. Well, let us know. All right. Well, thank you for everything tonight, and great show. And Tim, thanks again.
Have a great night.
Okay. Good night, everyone. Bye bye.
Good night. Bye bye.